Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Louder? Oh, I speak louder. All right. So sorry, this is a bit late. I had trouble with some videos and the slides. I'm a PowerPoint person, but I had to figure out the slides. But anyway, we're here. So yeah. So yeah. So my name is Sithe Ncube, and I'll be talking about something which I think a lot of us here might find frustrating in and out of this context. Um, I'm sure we've all encountered an invisible wall in a game we've played, and you realize how you've been given the illusion of unreaching, unending open worlds, and when you're confronted by the reality that what you feel you are promised or what you feel you've been seeing your whole life is much shorter than, much more restricted than you understand, it can lead to a lot of frustration in games and in the real world. So we're going to talk about that together. Yeah. So my name is Sithe, and I currently work as a producer at Nyamakop, which is a South African game development studio. But I'm originally from Zambia, which is a country in southern Africa. Doesn't have a really big industry at all, almost none, but working in South Africa has allowed me to experience a much bigger industry on the continent. But even still, there's a much bigger industry in the world that I'm learning to see a lot of. So my history with the games industry actually starts 13 years back when I tried to start my own game development community in my country. That was a Bongo Game Lab. And from there, I've worked with a whole lot of groups and initiatives that focus on game developers that are more marginalized and underrepresented within the global community. So we have Global Game Jam, the Black Game Developer Fund, the On-Site Gaming Fund, Black Voices in Gaming, Pro Helvetia She Got Game, and a lot more. Even beyond game development, I've also worked with technology and business incubators. I've worked with maker spaces. I'm really interested in anything that allows people to participate in technology on a global scale from a place where they might not do it normally. So yeah. And in 2021, I joined a company called Nyamakop. Literally translates to meatheads. It's a really interesting company. I get to work with really great people all the time. And hopefully, I hope this video will play properly because I would love to see, I'd like for you to see my team right now. Is this working? Can you hear it?
We bless the rain down in heaven, but in you we thrive.
Just like.
Is the audio okay? Okay, cool.
Hello and welcome to Nyamakop,
In Nyamakop.
your one-stop studio for all your playing pleasure. We bless the rains down in Africa, but in UE5.
Just like our bio says.
We make games. We're making games all day.
Every day.
It's just one game that we're making for now.
But we're really good at it.
If our next game does well, we can definitely make more. We're such an itty-bitty studio.
So skinny.
But we like to make big, high-quality games. Previously, we made Semblance available on Steam and Nintendo Switch. We even have an office space.
Office space.
We're a diverse team, and we even have a recycling bin in our office space.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
We also even have ergonomic chairs. Now look at our art director. Look at him grabbing all the art. That's our CEO. He once gave a talk at GDC.
So expensive.
This is us recording some voiceover for our unannounced title.
So it's censored.
Thanks for visiting
Inyamakop.
Okay. So, blah. Blah. So, what? Blah. Go back. To play? Oh, sorry. Sorry. Yeah. Um, so yeah, that's our team. And as you can see, we like to have fun, and we're a really charming studio with a lot of great people who have the freedom to express themselves. I didn't know how that would go over, but I'm glad some people liked it. Yeah, and that's our community and social media manager, Katie. If you follow our Instagram, you've seen a lot of posts like that. A lot of people really seem to like them. Yeah. So, not again.
No.
So the goal of Nyamakop right now is to make African-inspired games for a global audience at as a high production valuable as you can on the continent. That's what our CEO is aiming to do right now. And with that, we're actually very deliberate about using the resources we have within the continent for people working on the game. We've had people from over 10 different countries in the continent work on the game, even though the studio is based in South Africa. We've had people from Ghana, Nigeria, Ethiopia, Kenya, Zambia, some South Africans based in the diaspora, but just about everyone who's worked on the game is an African developer. And it's an interesting constraint that we started to work with when we were looking for people, particularly for our art team, because it was necessary for making an African-inspired game. You kind of do need people who know what African art looks like and people who know how to express the culture through a game. So yeah, that's why we've had to use unconventional ways to find people. If you were here at Mariam Soku, talking about trying to take control of the means of production of video games, and it can actually give some interesting results. It can actually give some interesting results that I've witnessed during production of this. I've seen architecture that I have never seen in games come here, and I've seen designs that were iterated on so many times in ways that you'll never see this design anywhere else. And it really represents what the studio is kind of about. So, yeah. So this is our current game, Relooted. And this has been years of people from all over the continent putting their imagination, their talent, into something that's probably never been seen before on the continent. A game of this production value made by a team from all these different countries. So this was the announcement trailer in April. I'll let you guys watch it just now. Yeah.
What is fun about an abandoned warehouse trip?
That's right, you've got nothing to prove, sis. No matter what they say.
Okay. What's this all about?
Treaties were signed, promises made and broken. It's stealing to take back what was stolen.
Stolen? Who's stealing them?
Us?
It's time to get out of there.
Let me introduce a friend of mine. Smart, agile, and will let you look into places with the tightest security.
I could probably bench press every one of them.
The locksmith strikes again. Hold on.
Listen, are you having second thoughts?
No, just hoping you won't get me killed.
Yeah.
I know what you and your little crew are doing.
Nobody threatens my family or my friends and gets away with it. So we are going to do whatever it takes to take back Africa's belongings, and we're going to do it together.
Okay. Bye. Bye.
What is fun about an abandoned warehouse, Trev?
Oh my gosh. Sorry. Ah. Can you? Oh, okay. Cool. Sorry. Mm. Sorry. Right. Thank you. All right. So, yeah, I didn't figure out the switching between videos anyway. But yeah. So from the work which I did previously, even before I joined Yamakop, I was very interested in trying to get more developers into the games industry, whether it's hobbyists, whether it's solo developers, whether it's people who want to go study in university. And something which I guess a lot of people here might already know is a big part of the games industry's labor is outsourced. So there are various statistics you can find on this. It's not really, it's not, there are no concrete numbers because a lot of times it's uncertain, but I've seen over 60%, 70%, and even upwards of 80% of developers have been using outsourced labor as recently as 2025. So depending on how you classify that, the larger part of the games industry that you might see, that you might not see, doesn't get credited as laborers within the industry. When you see statistics, for example, in the Game Developers Conference survey, State of the Industry report this year, they did have a survey of developers actively working in this industry, but it doesn't really cover every person who has contributed in terms of freelance work, contract artists, QA and localization. And sometimes people just think it's QA and localization that doesn't get as much attention, doesn't get as much representation, but a large chunk of art and a large chunk of art work and animation work is also outsourced. I think over 30% of outsourcing is in Asia Pacific alone, and we know the population of Asia is really large. So if we were to actually count those numbers, you could possibly see that most of the people who work in the industry are from the global south. It's hard to confirm, but I have heard people speculate that. And if I'm hoping someday there'll be a proper study of it, because I really feel like if you look at the numbers, a large chunk of the developers are from the global south and aren't really represented as well in the industry. But when you see the big picture, when you hear those big numbers, it's hard to actually see or hear what people are encountering that doesn't let them participate in the industry. I've done a bit of work as a user experience researcher, and something I loved was creating personas. I loved the process of it more than the application of it, because a lot of things get lost when you try and abstract people's profiles to really simple single names like a John Doe and a Jane Deere. You won't, even with the proper research done, a lot always gets left out that might be contextual to what a person is facing as a user or as a participant in the industry. So this is how a persona looks. I'm sure a lot of people have done these before. So you kind of abstract a person's profile based on user experience research, based on the demographic you're studying. Use a lot for product development and computer science. Computer science students usually learn this in interaction design. So yeah, a summary of what someone might look like in the industry. So if we were to imagine 3 games industry personas, we have Bob, who is a programmer and CEO, Alice, who runs a girls' game club, and a rising indie studio that has just secured a great deal and is about to show the world something. So, sorry. Bob is kind of an archetypical visionary indie developer. We have, how many game developers do we have here? Oh, okay. Why? Not as many? Okay, I see a few game developers here, no game developers here. Okay, I thought there were going to be more game developers here. But the visionary indie developer is a well-known archetype, even among gamers. We have our fabled game developers, game designers who have that magic touch, that signature that you recognize. And a lot of them have really cool starting stories of struggle, of challenges they face to get their scrappy little game seen by the whole world. So yeah, so game developers on this side, right? Were they this side? Okay, we have a game developer. Oh, hey! I know you. So I'd like to ask a question to the audience. Do we have a mic? Do you have a mic to give to the audience? So, to my visionary indie developers, how many of you are looking for funding right now? Not for a project, maybe a project now, maybe a project future. How many are looking for funding? Always, you guys should always be looking for funding, right? Okay, so imagine you're Bob. How should Bob spend a 20,000 euro grant? Might not be enough for a full game, could be enough for something, but would anyone like to say how they would spend a 20,000 euro grant if they were Bob?
I mean, if I didn't have to pay for rent because I have family or I'm privileged enough that I don't have to worry about that, I could buy the tools. I could hire maybe some artists to work on the game and try to create a vertical slice to have a product to pitch it. But if I didn't have to spend that money to basically live myself or to spend money to go to places and maybe go to some conferences or something to look for more funding. Maybe that.
Yeah. And that is a common problem with a lot of developers face. Yeah, I'm glad at least we're starting with that. A lot of people have to pay for living expenses first, but sometimes people, before they can even get to developing what they want, they have previous needs. So yeah, that answers a bit of the point I wanted to say. But sometimes people might just say, hey, if I can get 20,000 euros, that's enough for me to maybe make a vertical slice, or I can actually hire someone to I can actually localize this. I can actually localize this to an Eastern language and like reach a whole new audience. Like 20,000 euros, no strings attached. That could help me do a whole lot of things. But in my world, when I started talking to the Bobs in my world, the first Bob I met, Bob bought a generator so he could have stable power with almost all the money, and that's what's this? A barrier that no one else who I interacted with had faced. But when I was working with people locally and connecting them to larger funds, I did see that a lot of individualized problems that were never considered would come up. So whether it's Bob buying a generator. But yeah, rent and equipment was also a big one that a lot of people came up with. There was an emergency fund someone needed at one point. Yeah, but a lot of interesting Bobs might have different needs than we could imagine as the general game developer audience. So the second one is Alice, who is a college student who is running game clubs at her school. We do have a couple of women in the audience, but has anyone ever run a voluntary event? And my question to you, if anyone would like to answer, is if you were Alice, what would you prioritize in your events? If anyone has an answer for that. Anyone who runs events, you run a game jam. So what do you prioritize? Yeah.
Find a balance. Oh, it's so complicated to find a balance between creating a safe space and getting the funding to get that safe space. It's so, but I would prioritize the safe space over everything else. Myself, yeah.
To market it well, to get as many people in as possible, or something like that, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. And so for someone like Alice, it definitely depends. So this is one which I liked hearing people's needs from different cultures that one might not have considered. So I guess in my world as an Alice, a safe space was also a priority for me because transport is a big issue when it comes to getting women to attend events where I'm from. There's usually issues of safety because public transport is usually most dangerous for women where I'm from. And I had to figure out ways to make that happen. So as I was hosting events more and more, I learned that the one thing that made the biggest difference for women attending our events is giving them private transport so they can come to the event. So that actually made the biggest difference for people. We tried things like data, we tried things like having remote events, but a lot of people, the biggest issue was transport for them to come to the events. So yeah, this is one of the events I would host with Ubongo Game Lab. every year we would have girls come and learn how to make games and participate in the Global Game Jam afterwards. This was in 2018. And yeah, this was the first time we did the transport trial. And we got, in terms of people who signed up and people who were able to attend, I think almost everyone was able to attend. There was only one person who couldn't attend because her parents said no at the last minute, which was also a cultural thing. And if you might be an Alice from another place, you might be an Alice from a country that has very oppressive laws for women, who might not even be allowed to be seen publicly at these events. So even if you have the events, no one would know that these are happening. Yeah. So number 3 is a dream team. I thought we would have more developers here. Shalev, I think you're the last developer here. What? Oh, do we have? Oh, you're a developer. Yes, Fafama. All right. So if you were about to release your game, and do you have a studio? No, it's a solo developer. Do we have anyone who's running a team or who's part of a team? A team? You? Part of a team. Okay. So how would your team got a big break, right? And it's a culmination of work which I've been doing for over a decade, and people have put their hearts and soul into this, and everyone has a different interest here, but you really can only pick a few people to go to represent you at your debut. Who do you choose in your team? How do you decide? Is it through their contribution? Is it through seniority? Is it through?
No, I just take the coolest people.
You just take the coolest people?
Yeah. The ones who are most like, sociable and stuff like that, which is, not a given in our field.
That's actually a good strategy, though. That is a good strategy. But yeah. So I've heard stories from a lot of teams in the continent who aren't able to attend big meetings or previously, before COVID, when most events were happening in person, they definitely weren't able to go to GDC. We know how prohibitively expensive GDC is. So a lot of people aren't able to go to these events. And when it actually comes to choosing them, even when all the barriers are gone, even when you have the resources to take people, sometimes you just can't choose. So in our case, so who gets to represent your team at a big event? So in our case, or now a big team with so many people, only one person could go, and that was because they're the only one who had the right passport in time to go. So geographical and bureaucratic barriers can prevent teams from being able to access opportunities that they might not ever have access to again in their life. So yeah, earlier this year, with the announcement trailer I showed you, we had a lot of team members try to apply for visas, and a lot of them were denied. And we only could get one person there. And I think we were actually lucky in that instance, because I've heard a lot of stories of developers who are not able to attend opportunities and they get passed on the next person. So yeah. Yeah. I'm not gonna play a video yet. We'll do that last. But yeah. Oh no, it's playing.
A friend of mine, Runa.
Okay. So we were finally able to announce our game, and now we have a demo out. And if you saw from the previous social media, you can get to learn more about our team. There's a lot of personable content there. So if you'd like to wish this, something you can do to help all of us. I'm the only person from our team here. But yeah, can wishlist our game. And then I would like you guys to see the demo trailer afterwards. Yeah, how many more minutes? How many? 5 more minutes. Okay. Before I go to the demo trailer, I just want to know if anyone has questions before I go to the demo trailer. Any questions? You do have a question? You can have a question. No question? Okay, cool. All right, so
a friend of mine, Runa, needs an unusual item retrieved. Bangi Meli's skull.
Meli was a leader of the Chaka people in Moshi and resisted German expansion in Tanzania.
He was hanged and then decapitated. His head was sent to Germany to be phrenologically studied.
The time has come for the Great One to return.
Bangameli's last words. Let's make them true.
Your way in. Which veins do you want to assign me to? Ready. Seven.
Let's bring those ancestors home.
you can play the demo now.